welcome to today's Morning Report Trust Pros on Tuesday the 19th of December with me, Japan Market Analyst at Hantec Markets. We've got some interesting moves on the markets because we've had the suggestion that tax reform is now going to go through in the States. The sort of dissenting voices in the Senate, Republicans, that had suggested that they might not be able to vote for the tax reform bill in its revised form, are now sort of lining up in favour of the vote, and that is certainly helping to drive market sentiment today. Now, interestingly enough, the dollar has found almost no traction off this. Dollar continues to consolidate. You've had a slight move to the upside on Treasury yields, a little bit of uptick on the 10-year back towards sort of 2.39, 2.4 area, but again, no decisive real move above 2.4. And that is interesting because we have got equity markets that are strongly higher. Again, the S&P 500 sharply higher into all-time high territory, and that is continuing to drive. So basically, equities are the one main sort of beneficiary of this move towards tax reform. Bond markets, yeah, a little bit sold off on the bonds, which are pulling yields higher, but nothing real going on in the dollar market. So the forex majors are not really moving. You've got the final week before Christmas, not really getting too much direction out of the dollar. So yeah, some really interesting moves I think that we are seeing with this tax reform bill, which is the main driver I think of market sentiment. Now, in terms of equity markets this morning, a little bit of consolidation really on the European markets as the Wall Street indices just sort of dipped a touch into the close, and the markets on Europe are just sort of playing account of that. Little bit of euro gains, nothing significant, but apart from that, fairly much settled on these forex majors. So what about other factors we've got to think about today? Well, again, this final week before Christmas, not a great deal of data. We've got the building permits and the housing starts for the US. They are expected to dip slightly on building permits and housing starts, nothing too significant. So could have a bit of an aspect of market moves today or this afternoon, but yeah, nothing really doing. So my chart today is the sterling Aussie. Now, sterling Aussie has been in this uptrend for the past 3 months. Strong uptrend, actually. Had 6 days of downward move back towards this uptrend. 6 negative candles in a row. But yesterday's positive candle stabilised that move. And it's interesting that we're seeing the momentum indicators now coming back to levels which previously, throughout this uptrend, the market has started to find support. Certainly on the RSI anyway. The MACD lines are still pulling low, and the stochastics are now still dipping away back into negative territory. But it's interesting that we've had this positive candle that's broken that sequence of negative candles. On the hourly chart, you can see that it's broken a downtrend. Now, the market has sort of consolidated overnight, but dipped a little bit early doors today as sterling has weakened a touch. But is this a move that starts to sort of bore out a little bit of a sort of a bottom area? You've got the retreat back to 73.50, which basically was this old breakout, 73.65, which again held as support back in late November. So a couple of times we've tested that breakout support and held. So is that a holding area? That could well be. And you've got, as I said, this uptrend support as well. So you've got the breakout support and the uptrend support holding. So these two aspects, I think, are key to this chart now near term, with the fact that the market has just dropped away a touch today. Nothing too significant. But yeah, it's interesting that we are seeing this move coming through. So if 73.50 holds, then you can start to see this market just settling down and maybe even sort of starting to rally again. But 73.50 is a key breakdown level. If that breaks, it sort of completes this little top pattern. You could see the market sort of back towards the 70 big figure area. But for now, we're still holding on to this support. So I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you.